Welcome back, my duelist friends. Casual Duelist here. It's Monday. It's time for another off-brand, non-Yu-Gi-Oh deck build. And this week, I decided we go ahead and hit back to Naruto again real quick. And I'm going to show you this little Taijutsu build I used to play around with. Now, this is nowhere near the most competitive version. This is just what I was rocking around with. So, we're going to start off with 3 copies of Taijutsu Naruto Uzumaki, and it is Taijutsu in the parentheses text, which means it is different from regular Naruto or anything else. Doesn't exactly need clone status for me to deploy multiple names. Again, all the normal things: leaf getting, male, name, growth. Again, the almighty Taijutsu combat attribute down there in the bottom right. Better stats when injured than when healed. And the valid special suitability. When this ninja becomes the user of a jutsu with requirements taijutsu, you may give this ninja +2/0 during this turn. So again, gets better the more taijutsu he does. Great way to start off a match. Next, another card that's going to have some parentheses. We're going to be using some Rock Lee Childhoods. Full set of 3. Again, taijutsu requirements. Name is Lee. Has growth. This one's going to count as an academy student since this is him as a younger ninja, and his valid will be while you have battle rewards. While you have less battle rewards than your opponent, he gets a +1/+1 because nobody, and I mean nobody, outworks the Lee. Next up, I have 1 copy, probably because it's all I had to give to this deck. Turn 0, a Sasuke with the 3-0 with the Taijutsu here. This has the growth, this has the surge, and this has when this ninja becomes the user of a jutsu with the requirements of taijutsu, you can select a ninja battling against this, and in that case, the selected ninja actually gets weakened. It gets a -2/+0 for the turn. So, very cool, very cool. Next up, we're going to play 3 copies of Jocko. I don't remember this guy from the comic book, so he's probably from a filler. He's apparently one of the Ryudoin brothers. Ryudoin. You guys can correct me on that if you guys want to. Give me a phonetic down there in the comments section. It's going to be a 3-0 healthy, 1-0 injured Taijutsu status, of course. While this is in the same team as one or more other ninjas with Taijutsu, this guy becomes an absolute backup, getting a 0-2. However, it's not valid, so as soon as he's injured, he will lose this effect. Very good, very good. Moving on, another cool one-of that's got like a great foil. And again, this is one of the reasons I really loved the Naruto card game, was just the absolute amount of different types of foil art they put on their cards. This is going to be a different type of Suits Uzumaki, and if you look at this one has no parentheses. If we go back to the beginning of the deck, this one has parentheses. So even without clone status, these two may be deployed at the same time. Again, I'm not saying that there aren't Naruto fans here, but for the Yu-Gi-Oh fans, that might seem a little weird. But it happens. So he's getting his growth. He's still got the Taijutsu in the bottom right. He's known as the Green Beast. While you have one or more other ninjas with Taijutsu combat attribute in play, this ninja's healthy status combat value becomes the same as its injured status combat value. So instead of being deployed as a 1-0, he'll be a 4-0. And he will stay that way when he is injured, obviously, which is why the effect is not valid. We do have 2 more Taijutsu Sasukes. They're a little bit different. These ones are the heir to the Uchiha effect. When this is sent out to attack, you can discard the top card of your opponent's deck. In that case, your opponent cannot play cards with the same printed name as the discarded card during this turn. It's kind of cool, but like definitely not necessary in this build. We use him to have another good powerhouse. He is a 4-0 on turn counter 1, so it's like turn 2. And again, being able to throw cards out of our opponent's deck, if they're playing some 1-ups, we can hurt them. Next up, we're going to use one of my favorite ninjas. We're going to use a couple copies of Neji, and we're going to use the turn counter 2, 3-0-3-0 Taijutsu version, another perfect defense. When this ninja receives damage, you can discard a card from the hand to reduce it by 1, so he can stay around a little bit, just in case he were to take like lethal damage during the turn. And then we're going to use a step up. We're going to use a turn counter 2 for those who believe in me. We're going to use 1 copy here. This one is valid when this ninja is discarded while injured status. You can give 1 damage to one ninja battling against it. So again, very good versions of Neji. But not obviously the best. So next up is my boy Lee. We're going to be running 3 copies, Expert of Taijutsu. And again, this is going to be his tuning self. It's going to be turn counter 2. It's going to be 4-0 healthy, 3-0 injured, Taijutsu status all the way with growth. Valid each time this ninja becomes the user of a jutsu with the requirements Taijutsu and or Rock Lee. This card gets a 1-1 during the turn. Reread that each time, not once per turn. So if you're doing the EOJ, the exchange of jutsu, and you just happen to be flipping your little ninja tricks like crazy, this guy is going to show how good he truly is at it, which is why we went ahead with a full 3. And again, with the different arts, you can see like this name is more red than it is blue. These ones are more blue than anything. This one's got a little more green at the end. I like how they made the cards feel more and more unique as you went. I am going to be playing 1 copy of Hisashi Hyuga. Again, another Byakugan Taijutsu wielder. He is 5-0 healthy, 4-0 not. And this is the original, like, why he chose death variant. So you can discard this ninja during your opponent's turn to prevent them from winning any battle rewards during the turn. If I had room for 1 more, I would maybe bump this guy to 2. But 1 always worked well back in the day playing this. And again, I'm a casual duelist, so I wasn't going to tournaments or anything. It's just me and my friends goofing off. Next card, we have a copy of the Afro variant of Might Guy, 6-0 healthy, 3-0 injured, turn counter 4. Taijutsu wielder, of course, Jonin level. Disguise, when this ninja is put in play, place a growth coin on one of your tuning or lower ninjas with Taijutsu combat attribute. Now, I do believe that if I have already growth to characters, say Rock Lee, I do believe we can put an additional counter on him. It's just in the reverse. So like if I put this counter on first and then went to try to growth it, I would not gain an additional counter. If you guys want to stat check me on that one, to comment section. Valid effect here. This ninja can be put in play or moved into a village or battlefield, even if that player already has 1 or more ninjas with the same name in play. And again, that's fair. Next up, we are going to use 3 copies of the 8 Inner Gates Might Guy, because I love it. It is a turn counter 5. It is going to have an entrance of 1. This is going to be 6-0 both. Taijutsu, of course. Valid if this becomes the user of 1 or more jutsu that require Taijutsu and or Might Guy. This ninja's team wins a victory or outstanding victory during the turn. You will then win an additional battle reward through effect. 2 copies of the legendary Gokurudo, aka Naruto wearing Goku's gi. This is a turn counter 5. It is a 5-0 healthy, 7-1 injured Taijutsu. It has the unique training effect. Valid when this is healed, give it a 1-1 coin. Valid mission, discard a Naruto Uzumaki from your hand to heal this. So again, we do have some shots at healing him. And this is a playful push at Naruto, being sort of like Goku. And every time Goku would get injured and heals, he comes back stronger. It's fun. I loved it. Would probably play a 3rd if I had it. And then the last ninja we have at our disposal will be 2 copies of the 4th Raikage, a.k.a. A. He will be Satusa level, which is village leader. He's a 9-1 healthy, 7-0 injured, 6 with 1 entrance. Quick action, when this ninja is put in play, you may injure 1 ninja whose combat is less than this ninja's. So again, a little bit of spot damage. This definitely allows you to go ahead and weaken the ninjas that you need to have weakened, maybe take out an effect that you don't want to face. Going into the jutsu, we do have 2 copies of the Hidden Lotus. This one is going to be 3 chakra, just generically requirement Lee or tuning plus higher rank or Might Guy. So it's either tuning level Lee or Guy. Every ninja battling against the user is your target. Change them to injured. Additionally, if the user isn't injured, the target will become a standby ninja. So again, pretty cool. Next up, we're going to run 3 copies of the Leaf Whirlwind. Generic 1, he just needs Taijutsu combat attribute. It targets itself. The user gets a good +3 to their support value. So even just a regular ninja doing some backup is going to be better. Next up, 2 copies of the Leaf's Severe Hurricane. Again, generically 2. The target is the user again. The target gets +2/+0 during this turn if they have combat attribute. For Taijutsu, they get an additional 2/0 this turn. So generally in this deck, it is a +4/+0. Hence the Severe Hurricane. Next, we run 2 copies Overwhelming Power. This is going to be 1 Thunder and 1 Generic. The requirement is anybody with a combat of 6 or higher. And the effect is you just simply win a battle reward. Again, this can help you push for game. Next, we have 2 of Severe Leaf Hurricane, which is a different name. 2 Generic Chakra. Targets the user. The user gets a 2/0. However, the combination with Taijutsu, return this jutsu to your hand. So again, different. Then we're going to use 2 copies of Shadow Clone. Again, this is going to be 1 Thunder, 1 Generic. Target every back ninja in the user's team. In calculation of the team power of the target's team, apply the target's combat values instead of their support values. So all these Taijutsu wielders, they tend to be more or less the frontline characters. This allows them to all use their frontline stat as opposed to their backup stat. And then the last one I have is I have a copy of the Taijutsu suit. 2 Generic. Effect, if the user is a Taijutsu ninja, they get 5/0 during the turn. Otherwise, the user will get a 2/0 and gain Taijutsu during the turn. Since everybody in this deck does have Taijutsu, we're talking about a +5/0. And I know you guys are like, well, where's the 800 gates? Where's the cool stuff? Well, I had that deck before, and then I gave them to my friend, and it actually may be part of the stuff that I've been given recently. And if he still has that, I'll profile his too. But this is what I was using. Going into the missions, I used 2 copies of 4 times faster. Look at all the cards in the opponent's hand. Then you can move both players' turn marker up by 4. In that case, at the end of the opponent's next turn, move them both back down by 4. Again, it's a bit of a gamble. This works just as well for your opponent as it's going to work for you. But sometimes it works out better. Sometimes they just don't have any higher turn ninjas. And you get to mollywomp with a big, like a Mike Guy or something on like the 3rd turn. 3 copies of Recollection. Exchange all cards in the hand with the same amount of cards from the bottom of your deck. Then draw an additional card. So again, this is very good. It helps mix up the hands. And then I use 3 copies to round this out. 3 copies of the Heroic Whirlwind. And the way that this works, this is a permanent mission. Each time one of your Leaf Ninja become the user of a Jutsu card, that ninja will get an additional +2/+2 during the turn. Again, it just keeps showing the will of the fire that the Leaf Ninjas have and how skilled they can be with their Taijutsu. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And I hope that you did. If you did, consider supporting the channel. I know that Celestial has a box opening planned for tomorrow. George brought over some stuff for you guys to see. I want to say it was 2 of those tins for the 25th anniversary. And then after that, that'll be what? This was Monday. That'll be Tuesday. We'll take Wednesday off. We'll come back on Thursday. Thursday, I have a Jinzo deck for you guys in Speed Duel. And then I'll have a follow-up using the newer skill, the Machine Menace, on Saturday. So hopefully you guys look forward to all of that. And until I see you guys again next time, you guys have a great one, okay? I'll see you guys next time. Later.